Europe, mid-1300s. The Black Plague hits the continent like a truck, filled with plague. People were dying by the thousands of thousands, otherwise known as the millions. As bodies piled up in streets and houses, the job of moving those bodies out of cities fell upon one group of people, a heroic bunch known as the body collectors. And yes, it's exactly as glamorous as it sounds. The job consisted of breaking into dead people's homes, checking for said dead people, grabbing the corpses, loading them onto a cart, and then moving on to the next house. There were a shit ton of bodies to collect during the Black Plague. Ironically, body collection was one of the most stable careers around that time because everyone was dying to plague. It was a bit of a trend. Unfortunately for the body collectors, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Who knew, right? The funny thing about the Black Plague was that it spreads insanely fast and efficiently. And if you're coming into contact with bodies all day, things don't look too good for your survival odds. A ton of body collectors would die from the plague, and let me tell you, it was not pretty. The main sign of the bubonic plague was buboes. The victim would be covered in these black spots that were filled with pus, and that would occasionally explode. As the plague attacked your body and your condition reached critical levels, you would start to cough blood before a final seizure would take you down. So yeah, pretty lovely stuff. One of the main strategies of the body collectors was known as corpse lasagna, whereby they dug an incredibly deep pit. Then they'll throw corpses into said pit, then throw dirt on them. Then they'd add more corpses, and so on until the pit is filled. Then they do it again, hence the name, lasagna. Despite all the horrors, being a body collector was a very desired job. Not for the safety and fun of the job itself, but because those dudes got paid so much. I mean, you'd have to be paid a ton to do a job with a 90% chance of horrifying death.